And anybody who has a parent who died would understand where I'm coming from. When you get to the year of the parent's death, especially if they died young, as a child of that parent, you pretty much think that you're cut off for life. I could describe the whole moment, the smells, everything that was going on. We were watching Happy Days, ironically, and my brothers were annoying the crap out of me. You know, I was 5 years old and we were hitting each other on the couch, and it was Valentine's Day, so we were waiting for my dad to come home. And I was all excited because I filled out this card for him and he called me his little monkey, and it was awesome. And I was waiting for him to come home. And I remember him coming up the steps and patting me on the head and saying, "Monk, give me a second, I don't feel good." So he went into the kitchen. I remember him and my mother speaking to one another, and I was looking in, and at 5, understanding something's not right. And the next thing I know, he collapsed, and my dad was 6'5" and 300 pounds. And I knew then that this was the moment that would change me. And every moment subsequently in my life, I look back at that moment and say, if you can overcome your father's death at 5 years old, you can overcome everything in life. Every pound on my body I own. You know, it was either a bad date, 4 years of an abusive relationship, a father dying, someone leaving you. A bowl of ice cream and chicken parmesan does very good in downtime. It just does, and that's just what it is. And I needed to understand that I need to have a better relationship with my closest relationship, and that's food. That's just the end result. It's the closest relationship in my life. It's the one thing that has always sustained me. This is complete neglect of myself. That's what this represents. That this is years of taking care of everybody, but all of my life's decisions, including leaving teaching for the time being, was bringing me so I could make this decision for myself. I don't know how that clarity came, it just came. So I made the decision. I called, I made the appointment, and I met with him last month, and I got all my clearances, and I'm good to go, and it's gonna be in February. And I'm so fucking proud of myself and happy and excited to live past 40. What's weird for me is, you know, when I started telling my family, everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you, I'm so excited, I can't wait for this." And in the first process, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, these people thought I was so bad. Like, in my head, I'm like, no, you're going to a bad place, girlfriends. Like, these people are just as happy for you because of why you're happy, you know? And, you know, I had to be okay with that because I know I'm gonna be looking through life through a completely different lens.
What's like a second life?
Yeah.
You know what? I spent 37 years planning. I've been a planner my whole life. Like, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to college. I was going to be a teacher. I was going to get married by the time I was this age, have kids, have that. None of that shit worked out. None of it. And for my surgery, I wasn't going to do the surgery. I don't know if I ever told you the story about how it happened, but I came out of my doctor's office. I felt like crap. And I drove away from his office, and I had this overwhelming sense that I was gonna die. So I called my doctor back on the way home, and I said, "Do you know anybody who does weight loss surgery?" And he said, "I really don't, but you know, I have one patient that went to NYU." And long story short, I go and meet this doctor at NYU, and he says to me, as we're going through things, he's like, "Well, if we do this now, it's a 6-month process. You could have the surgery around February 5th. By February 14th, you'll be great." February 5th is my dad's birthday. February 14th is the day he died. He died 9 days after he turned 40. And I went, "Okay, Dad, I have to have this." So it was a very quick decision for me. Like, there was no thinking involved with doing LapBand. Where other people plan this out, research it, I didn't do any of that. It was the first decision I ever made in my life, besides resigning from teaching, that this is happening. You know, people think you have weight loss surgery and, you know, you're good. Like, when I woke up from surgery, I was like, "I'm sorry, bitch, I'm not 100 pounds lighter. I just went in for weight loss surgery. Why am I so fat? So, I have to do work now?" You know, I come off as this very confident person who has her shit together. But when I'm alone and I don't have food, I don't have my shit together. So it's been interesting because things have come up for me about my life and what I'm looking for, and now it's the quest of what is missing. So I was the person who used to walk into rooms and I would feel all the eyes on me, and it wasn't happening, but in my head it was. And it was like, wow, look at this really fat, tall girl that just walked in. And I'm talking about rooms of people that loved and respected me, but I always felt like all eyes were on me. People notice me now on a different level. Like, I never knew what it was like to be noticed by men. And I realized, because I didn't like it, because of whatever happened in my childhood, I didn't want to be noticed by men. I didn't want, you know, and I really think it goes back to my dad with him dying and having so many men leave me and other things happen in my life, that I started that wall. I was in Atlantic City. We had gone to Atlantic City when I lost 100 pounds, and the theme was 100 pounds, 100 shots. So we all went, and I'm standing in the casino, and all of a sudden, like, 3 guys walk by me, and they're like, damn, look at that ass. And I'm like, oh, there must be somebody with a nice ass around here. And then I turned around, I'm like, it's my ass. And it was just like, I took it all in, and I was like, yes, gentlemen, check out this ass. And so for me to take that all in, it's been quite a journey, because it's hard for me to accept on some days, and then on other days I'm like, look at you. You're exquisite on the outside, on the inside. And then there are days where I'm like, girl, get your shit together, because you're exquisite. You know, so it's been interesting, because a lot of stuff has come up, and it has not been an easy journey. Now I walk into places, and the first time that I walked into a room and I owned it, I was just like, wow, you are absolutely gorgeous. And that's the biggest change for me, because I always knew I was beautiful. You know, it took a long time for me to get there. Even at 420 pounds, it didn't matter to me, because I was beautiful and I knew that. But I said it once, I had gone away to the Structure House back in 2008, which my friends call the fat camp. In my first therapy session, we did 2 things. First, they did a 4-hour self-image class, and we had to draw a picture of us heavy and a picture of us thin. And I was the only person out of 20 women. And the counselor said, do you realize you're the same exact person? You drew the same exact person. Everybody else drew different hair, different face, different outfit. I didn't even realize. And I said in therapy, I said, well, I kind of feel like I'm zippered up and I can't get the zipper down, and I put out this person's role, but what I see in the mirror doesn't match who I am. I match now. I'm hard. Like, I don't have to lose 5 more pounds, and I'm still a big girl. But I'm so sure of who I am, and I feel so amazingly beautiful and right. And the zipper's gone. It's just not there. Like, I'm here. And that's what this surgery has done for me.